Hello, everybody. Welcome to another spring sports preview on Running Point. We are joined by the head coach of Garfield softball, Tina Faulhaber. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us a little bit of a preview into Garfield softball.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Coach, like we always like to do with all our area coaches, we always start off with a sort of meet the team segment. And with Garfield coming into the YSN network too, I think this is a perfect opportunity to give us a preview of the returners this year and some of the new faces that we're going to be seeing in the Lady G-Men this year.
Sure. We have 8 returners actually from last year, so we're pretty happy about that. 5 seniors. We have Sydney Seaman, Cadence McGranahan, we have Ella Brand, we have Annabelle Moore, and Ketley Fresh are all returning seniors. We have a junior, Kendall Hahn, and then sophomores, Tana McGranahan and Lizzie Moore.
Coach, since this is our first year with you guys and covering the softball team, give us an idea of what the identity of Garfield softball is and what the personality inside that dugout is for you guys in the Lady G-Men.
We are a group who gets along together, who loves to play softball and loves to play as a team. A lot of them hang out with each other outside of softball and are friends even when we're not in season. They're a group of hard workers who really just want a chance to get out on the field and show, what they've learned all these years that they've been playing. And they like to get down to business.
Give us a preview of kind of the support that Garfield softball gets to, and what kind of community support you guys get year to year, and what kind of the youth programs and everything like that look like for Garfield softball.
We have so much support throughout the community and throughout our parents and friends. There's Garfield Town Ball that's been going on up through the ages. There's several travel ball teams that our girls play on throughout the community. There's Winter League softball that they're on and fall ball. So we have a lot of support over here in Garfield. The GARRETTSVILE area really likes softball and really likes to get girls started young in the program.
Coach, let's talk about this schedule. Obviously, it's going to be your first year in this MVAC conference, but some teams that everyone's kind of familiar with in the softball world of our district that you're going to be playing against. Brookfield had a great season last year. Obviously, everyone knows what champion softball is all about. Crestview's really good. How excited are you to get into this new conference, and how much do you think it'll prepare you for the postseason?
I'm really excited once you get past the initial shock of learning that you're in the league with the reoccurring state champions. I think it'll really help us in the long run seeing this type of competition on a regular basis and just forcing us to raise our standards in our competition. And good softball is the standard of this league. So I think will help a lot that to improve on what we're seeing every day. And then in the postseason, that all that comes into play and really helps you go farther.
And looking at what you return and what you're bringing on to the team this year, what are some of the team goals and kind of expectations you have for this season?
Together, we talked about goals and we talked about limiting things like limiting strikeouts and limiting errors, which every team talks about. But really, we want to focus on playing as a unit, communication with each other. We're going to have a lot of moving parts because we have more than one pitcher this year. So our fielders will be moving around, and we've talked about how important communication is and just playing as one unit and playing as a team.
You talk about your pitchers, and now you're going to have more than one, and it all starts in the circle with softball. Talk about what you expect out of your pitchers this year, and what are going to be some of the hallmarks of Garfield in the circle.
We have some pitchers who really dedicate to moving the ball around. We don't blow anybody away. Nobody's throwing 60 miles an hour, but They really hit their spots. They are dedicated to having multiple pitches, each one of them, and working on those consistently and using their defense. You know, you don't have to strike everybody out. 3 ground ball outs is just as good as 3 strikeouts. So we're really focused on using what we have to our advantage and using the defense behind them.
How helpful is it to have these multiple sport athletes like Sarah Seaman, for example, that have had this successful runs in other sports to bring over that kind of into this kind of, success breeds success kind of mentality, bring it over into the softball season?
It's actually her sister, Sydney Seaman, who also
They're twins.
played
It's okay.
basketball. Yeah. It's kind of amazing that winning is the standard. That is really helpful. And you don't really think about it until you are lucky enough to have that experience where that's just what's expected. And they have that motivation and they have that drive to get farther in the postseason to win the league, because winning feels good. And they experience that in other teams and other sports, and they like that experience, and they see in other sports what it takes to meet that goal. So it's very helpful that we have a winning tradition here at Garfield in girls sports.
And as we bring up Sydney, and I'm sure she's going to fall into this category, but who are some of the leaders of this team and people that you're going to really count on to be vocal leaders as the season kind of goes on?
Most of our seniors have all taken turns at different times being the vocal leaders. We have ones that excel at different things. Obviously, Sydney and Cadence are catchers, so they have a lot of experience behind the plate and therefore seeing pitches, and that also transcends into hitting. And so they are very vocal with a lot of things and helping kids, the younger kids, with seeing the ball and just knowing certain plays. Same thing, Ketley, Annabelle, and Ella. They each bring a different, some are infield, some are outfield. One is a slapper, so they all bring different aspects to the game to the younger ones, and they can help out with a wide array of things. Just about anything that you have on the field, they have it covered.
As soon as you said Sydney Seaman catcher, what popped into my mind was diving play behind the plate last year that you saw all over social media. What a good defensive catcher, and I'm sure a good battery mate to your pitchers.
Absolutely. Both of my catchers call their own pitches. My pitchers have confidence in them. They're great behind the plate. They're walls. They have rockets for arms. There's a lot of confidence and a peace of mind that you get when you know what you have behind the plate. And our pitchers and the rest of our team really appreciate that too.
When you're trying to develop talent too, it's also the competition level you play that we know in the regular season. That's very important too on the tournament runs you go into. What are some non-conference games this season that you're kind of excited for the girls to get their feet wet against and kind of match up against?
We have, if we get them in, right, that would be great.
Absolutely.
We have, trying to think at the moment, we have Independence on the schedule again, and they're usually pretty tough. We have West Branch. They're always really good. We haven't, every time we schedule them, we haven't actually made it to the field, but I know just from statistics, they're pretty good throughout the seasons. We have, trying to think. Of course. We have Cuyahoga Heights, who usually plays us tough. And we have some bigger schools too that we have on there that sometimes they give us a different look at like what they're used to in their competition. So that'll help us.
Seems like this West Branch Garfield scheduling is happening in a multitude of sports too. And I love seeing the competition level between these two schools always matching up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've tried to for years. It seems like a really good matchup and not a great distance, but we always have to count on Ohio weather to help us out with that. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this year it'll work out.
Yeah, and that Ohio weather is turning its ugly head right as we head into the first week of the softball season, which is just No fun. It's been warm for 2 weeks straight. Now we're sitting here with looking at 30-degree weather coming back to us. Ugh.
Right.
Coach, when you look at some of the things that uh, you have under your staff and the people that you have working with you as assistants, I want to give you the time to shout out the staff of the softball program and some of the people that make it run as well as it does.
Sure. My assistant this year, new to me, is Maddie Hartung. She played at Rootstown, was a big success over there in her day. She brings a lot of energy, which sometimes is harder for, some older coaches to bring all the time, but she brings a lot of energy and enthusiasm to us. We have great parents who are willing to support us doing just about anything and everything for the girls. Our AD, Mr. Flagger, is doing his best to try to get our field ready with the maintenance crew. It takes a lot of work on our field, and they're out there, every day trying to get it done. So we appreciate all the work that everybody has to do just to get us out there on the field.
Coach, let's just talk a little bit about this just team and the culture that you are building there at Garrettsville, and just kind of just highlight that. And if we were to ask some of the girls that go through this program what it means to be a Lady G-man or what it means to play for Garrettsville, what would you hope they would say?
Well, I would hope that they would stress the importance of being a team player. We talk about that a lot. It's really hard at this age to put the team first and do what's best for the team. So we really stress, being a team player and doing what's best for the team, and not always focusing on being the star. I hope they would talk about working hard and improving, no matter what level you're at, whether you're not a starter yet, or whether you are someone who is so talented you could start every game. There's still room for improvement. There's still a chance to be a leader. So I hope that they would express that, our want and desire to be better and to achieve our goals. And when we achieve those goals, to raise those goals even higher.
Coach, before we let you go, because it's our first year with you under YSN, I kind of want you to talk about your journey in softball and what got you into this sport and what got you into coaching it and why you like it so much that you keep coming back to do it.
Softball and I have been together for, let's see, about 41 years, I think. When I first started, we didn't have T-ball and we didn't have Coach Pitch. I think A-League was the first. They had a rover. That's how old I am. They had a rover that was kind of the opposite of the shortstop. So out where I'm from, there's not a lot of sports to choose from. And I just started playing softball, fell in love with it, played it all through, middle school, high school. And when it came to coaching, it just seemed very natural, along with teaching, just kind of taking your teaching experience and transferring it into a sport that you love seemed like an amazing opportunity. So this, I'm trying to think of how many years this has been. I'm not really sure. I think 12 as head coach, minus last year. So, and a few years before that in JV. And it's just been fun. The girls are great. It's always a wonderful journey to see them transform, both as people and as players. So that's what keeps me into it.
Coach, shout out your first game that hopefully, weather depending, we get in. And if not, maybe the second game as well, that if they want to come out and catch the Lady G-men, they can.
Right. We are supposed to play Monday home versus Harding at 5:00. So that would be exciting if that actually happened. Tuesday, we are at Independence. So hopefully one of those two games get in. That'd be great. Both would be awesome, but I'll take what I can get.
And we might have to bundle up, but if we have to get them in a giant parka, we'll get them in.
Right.
Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and giving us a little bit of a preview into Garfield softball. We appreciate your time so much, and we look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you guys so much for what you do and for the opportunity. I appreciate it.